Hello and welcome. This week I thought you might like a little tour of my art studio. I'll show you some of the materials that I've accumulated over about 20 years of painting and share with you some really useful art tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. If you've come here to see how to tighten a canvas that's got loose on its frame, that's coming right up. But stick around afterwards as I'll be sharing with you lots of other stuff and my weekly art vlog. Enjoy! I'll show you now what I'm going to do about this painting and how to get rid of this loose part on the canvas. It is literally as simple as water in a spray can, lay the canvas on the table, spray the back of the canvas, plug in a hairdryer, turn up high, and the canvas is as good as new, tight as a drum, and I can go and finish my painting. So that will last now. You don't have to worry about your canvas going loose again afterwards. So it's a really good technique. So we got to go out, haven't we, Max? You want to go out? Yeah? Should we go? Or you want your belly rubbed? You want your belly rubbed first. Okay. Should we go get Joe? He speaks French too. Watch this. On va chercher Joe? On va chercher Joe? Oui! Oh! Ah, okay. On va chercher Joe. As an artist, I try to open my eyes and observe the beauty around me, especially in nature. Even on a grey, wintry day, this old tree is just lovely, but it did look even better on a sunny day. I think it's important to try to connect with the natural world around us. I try to remember to look up sometimes and really notice what's around me. It's the first time I walk along in the street doing this, talking to myself. People will think I'm very strange around here because I don't think I've ever seen anybody doing this kind of thing in our little village. Anyway, I'm walking to school, very happy to be out and about. We have to be careful with poodles because we adopted Max a couple of years ago and he's got a bit of a history with poodles. I think he got attacked actually when he was a puppy because he has a little scar on his nose. Are we going this way? No, we're not going this way, dude. We've got to go that way. He's got a little scar on his nose where I think he was attacked. So now when he sees a poodle, he goes for it, which is a bit of a worry. So we're always slightly tense taking him out for walks, aren't we, Max? But apart from that, he's a very good dog. We've been very lucky with him. It's always a bit of a risk when you adopt a dog. You never know what you're going to get, really, even if they're super cute in the rescue centre. They're always full of surprises when you get them home. Anyway, he's been lovely and a very welcome member of our family. So, yeah. Eh oui, c'est l'heure du goûter encore. Non mais comment je vais choisir? Oh là 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 là. After the goûter, I got back to work and I thought I'd show you quickly the mirror on my studio wall, which helps me spot any errors by looking at a mirror image of any of my paintings. So this is where I keep all my paintbrushes. I like to have a large selection, as you can tell. I actually only use a few of them though, I don't really use all of them. But I keep some of the older ones for if I'm doing oil painting with fur, because some of these really old rough brushes are actually excellent for painting fur on animals with. I've also been experimenting with different types of artist palettes. So I've used these and I really like using just this shiny paper, as you can just tear it off and throw it away when you're finished. I make them last for really quite a long time, and I can put paint over the top of paint I've already used because it's acrylic paint, so it dries like plastic. So yeah, there's lots of options. I used to use this, really time consuming to wash it every time, or even to try to keep the paint oh dear, to try to keep the paint dry you have to close it, but it doesn't work very well, I found. So that's going to be a fun cleaning job at some point. It's quite satisfying actually, picking off the paint. Okay, I'm just going to pause this video while I peel paint for the next hour. So yeah, these palettes are great. You can use them for oil paint or for acrylic paint, because I use both, but I would say that you have to remember to wash them before the paint dries, otherwise you're in for a really long paint peeling and scraping session, which can be quite time consuming when you've got more important things to be getting along with. Here are my acrylic pens. These are great. So yeah, I've got a whole box of those, different colours. I don't use them that often. When I'm doing tiny details, I like to use little tiny brushes, like, there we go, which is really brilliant for painting thin lines. And I find you get a much better finish than even if you're using acrylic pens. Okay, these are some ideas for my next series of paintings. Like I said in one of my previous videos about doing a live painting session during Valentine's Day, I've printed off some of these images from the internet of Baby and I think it's Johnny, is it Johnny? From Dirty Dancing, who I'm going to paint on one of my 50 by 50 canvases soon. So I'm looking forward to getting those sketched out, ready to go. I think I'll go with this one, it's quite a classic. There's a picture of me I'd like to try and paint when I was about 15 in the garden before a school disco. And I'm a big fan of Dean Schneider and his lions, so I wanted to do a portrait as well of him. So this is kind of my ideas pile, lots of printed off ideas that I wanted to work on. So that keeps me busy, and when I forget what I want to do next, I go and have a look in there and I find plenty of ideas. More stuff, okay. I've got some glue which I use when I'm doing gold leaf. And I have this Savon Noir de Marseille, which is amazing if you want to dissolve dried acrylic paint. Once it's dried, you can get it off. It's a myth that it's forever. You just put a thick layer of that on, leave it overnight, and then you can scrape it off your canvas and start again. Here I've got some spray varnishes, so satin finish and gloss finish, excellent quality that I use on all of my acrylic paintings. Up. And this is when I was going through a phase of using little bits of resin on some of my paintings, so I've still got that. Might do some more of those because they give really lovely shiny effects. I keep my paints in a little old chest of drawers here, and I've tidied it up recently, so it's a good time to show you. It was a little bit more hectic before that. I don't know what I'm going to do with those, but they were my daughter's and I've recuperated them, just little bits of shiny paper, but I'm sure I can put them to use. Love that colour. These are some oil paints. This is all I need for oil painting. The primary colours, so blue, yellow and red, white and black, and then I've got a gold, I've got a lovely burnt umber, and I've got this fantastic orange, very, very bright orange, which cost a small fortune, but is wonderful for making sunset paintings and things. That's all you need to make all colours, as far as I'm concerned, for oil painting. So I didn't go and buy a whole massive collection. I made all of these oil paintings with just the basics. Here I've got some really fun fabric paints, and I got a bit carried away with all the different colours available. You can make little dots with these, or you can use them to make lines. and they're just really nice to add little bits of final details to paintings. This is some really nice shiny blue paint that I use in some of my seascapes. And then we have the main drawer of paints. I use lots of different makes, but my favourite by far is, second favourite is the Amsterdam acrylic paints and Vallejo. As you can see, this one has been well and truly used. Vallejo is my favourite. I think that's how you pronounce it. This is my absolute #1 favourite acrylic paint in fantastic cadmium orange. And it's so versatile and it's beautiful, beautiful quality. And you can do so much with it for sky, for sea, for faces, just for big blocks of bright orange colour. Mixed with red, mixed with pink, it's fantastic. And I've got all the other warm colours down here. I like to separate my warm colours from my cool colours. Whoops. And yeah, that just keeps things simple. Now I'll show you what's behind this curtain. On second thoughts, it's best to save that for another week. I'll show you next week what's behind the curtain. And I'll also show you the beginning stages of my baby and Johnny painting that I'll be finishing when I go and paint live next week. In the meantime, if you haven't done so, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. It's completely free and it means you won't miss out on any future videos. Sending you lots and lots of enthusiasm and encouragement for your artistic ventures, and until next week, bye for now.